Hello, and welcome to this edition of 101 Sports Webcast. I'm Chris Edwards.
And I'm Connor Delpreet. Eli Manning didn't throw an interception last week, and the Giants actually won. That's a bigger surprise than Roger Goodell showing up for press conferences. Here are your quick hitters.
Last Saturday, Jameis Winston was given a fourth-quarter suspension after the initial two-quarter sentencing against Clemson for using inappropriate language at a recent student union. FSU would still win the game in overtime. Connor, was this punishment enough?
I have to say yes. I think the NCAA got it right. Winston's antics throughout his career needed to be addressed, and this is the way to address it with such a big game against number 22 Clemson coming into Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Winston could have elevated his Heisman hopes because he hadn't been playing that well this year. This is a game where he elevates his Heisman hopes. He had to sit on the sidelines and watch Sean McGuire put in an okay performance. This is the perfect way.
Here's where I disagree with you a little bit. The one-game suspension, that was a no-brainer for me. I don't even know why they consider a two-quarter thing. But honestly, I can make the argument for a two-game suspension because he's not innocent. He's been in this spotlight constant times. Yeah. Let me just read you the things he's been with. Sexual assault case, the crab legs thing that happened last year. He stole soda from Burger King last year. He stole soda. Okay, are you kidding me?
I agree. He has done a lot of bad things, but this punishment is for this incident only, and that's why I think a one-game suspension is necessary. It's important to know that Winston was sitting on the sidelines, and the Florida State faithful and Winston knew that the best player, the face of that franchise, had a cap and shoes on, no cleats on during that game.
I'm just saying a two-game suspension will actually make him grow up because, honestly, if he was suspended for both these games, I don't think Florida State would have won both of them, and that would be like a real big hit to him. Like, he's their team. We saw it last Saturday. That team struggled without Winston, and seeing that team struggle made it knock some sense into his head, saying, you know, let's do something. Let me grow up. So that's just me.
And hopefully this punishment actually rights his career. Because it's sad to see a player like this go down the way he's gone.
So sad.
After winning the coin toss in overtime, the Seattle Seahawks marched down the field within minutes and scored a touchdown to win the Super Bowl rematch, while Peyton Manning and the Broncos offense sat on the bench. Chris, should the NFL consider ratifying the overtime rules?
I think they should because we see it in the playoffs and in college football as well. They do this thing where each team has a chance at least. The only thing I have against that is not all teams are going to be like Seattle. They're not all going to march down the field and then win the game. There's going to be instances where that team's going to struggle, and then the other team will go and march down the field, and then you just have a back and forth.
And see, I do agree. I think the overtime rules should be ratified, but I think it shouldn't be a game-by-game basis. It should just be in general because these current rules put a heavy emphasis on a coin toss. Peyton Manning brings his team back from the jaws of death, a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter.
That's
These
true.
teams fought so hard to get to overtime, and now all of a sudden Peyton Manning can't play in overtime. It's like a movie director taking out Denzel Washington. You don't take out the big-time names in a big-time scene. No, you want a clutch player playing in a clutch moment. I think the NFL missed a huge clutch moment due to these overtime rules.
Honestly, they should do this. That's just my only fear is the extended gameplay. It may make it a little bit longer, but if they can do a little ratifying of that, I'm totally fine for this because it's not fair. You just mentioned it's not fair to Peyton Manning. He literally brought him back, and he can't even be on the field.
There's two parts of a football team: offense and defense. The Broncos brought it back with their offense, and they couldn't prove it with their offense in overtime that they were the better team.
Yep, it's a shame. What if I told you that there's a sports franchise that spends more money than the New York Yankees? Well, it's recently released that Spanish great Real Madrid has $603 million in debt, yet they're still one of the highest spending teams in the world. Connor, does FIFA need to do something like put on sanctions on Real Madrid, or should they just let it go?
Absolutely, Chris. This isn't even one of the only soccer clubs that has this kind of deal. I can guarantee you Manchester United, Chelsea,
absolutely.
Barcelona, they all have these problems. This reminds me of a case of a teenage guy or girl taking their parents' credit card and spending whatever they want with no thought. You would think when they sent away Ozil and they sent away players like that, maybe they're trying to get rid of their debt. But no, they signed James Rodriguez, Gareth Bale, Toni Kroos. It seems like they don't care how much money they spend as long as they can stay competitive in what is a really competitive La Liga. But at this point, they're just spending too much money. It becomes unfair to other teams.
It's ridiculous. So let me just give you some numbers. So the Yankees spent about $500 million last year. If you're spending more than the Yankees, you have a problem. You have a spending Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian kind of spending problem. FIFA needs to do something about this. I don't know what they need to do. Sanctions definitely be on my high list.
It's not like this just happened all of a sudden. I can tell you one thing, that last week they didn't just all of a sudden become $600 million.
No, this has been a recurring thing.
It's been a recurring thing even since they brought Cristiano Ronaldo over. It's a recurring thing, and FIFA needs to do something about it to keep the little credibility that FIFA has left.
I mean, they don't have any credibility at all.
You know, this would be a huge step for them if they could step in and put it to Real Madrid.
Yeah, it would help.
Is the Black Mamba trying to make a splash overseas? NBA star Kobe Bryant recently revealed his serious intentions to buy and become a part-time owner of an Italian soccer club, Bologna FC. Bryant played soccer in Italy when he was a kid, and he is still an avid fan of the sport today. Do you think it's time for Kobe to end his career and move into a managerial position, or do you think it's just an athlete being bored in the offseason?
He is bored out of his mind. Are you kidding me right now? Like, here's one thing that I know about Kobe. He is a competitor, and he wants to win more rings. He still has a 2-year contract left with the Lakers, and even though it doesn't look too well for LA, he's still going to focus on Los Angeles and focus on that part of his career right now. Now, when he does retire, and if he wants to go to Bologna, fine. Do whatever he wants to do. I don't care. I mean, it's Kobe. He's earned that right. But here's my thing. Does he really want to go there? Because they've been really struggling.
They really have. And what I agree that he shouldn't become a managerial position. First of all, Kobe, I beg you, do not become a manager of a European soccer team.
Please,
with all the things Kobe says, he's going to get ripped apart by the media in Europe, and he's not going to enjoy it. But I do think that Kobe is realizing that the end is near. As much as we don't want to believe it, the Black Mamba is not immortal.
Unfortunately, time gets to you.
Yeah, time gets to you, and he's realizing that maybe he wants to make a business investment or something. Athletes have so much to do in season, and when they're actually playing, that he's going to be really bored when he has nothing to do. So I think he's going to invest in a team. He loves soccer. He played it as a kid. He's said multiple times how much he loves the sport. So I think this is an investment for Kobe. He's talked to people like Oprah, Ariana Huffington, the owner of Nike, just to get some business ideas. So I think it's a business investment, and I like it. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, why not situation. Like, he can do whatever he wants. He's Kobe Bryant.
You know what? He's making better decisions than Meta World Peace, the friend Panda.
The Panda?
Exactly.
Get those weird shoes? I don't want them. I just don't.
That's all the time we have for the Quick Hitters, but stay tuned as I sit down with our NFL experts to analyze some teams that are off to a hot start.